Oil. Hi, YouTube.
Hello, fans, subscribers,
I love
followers.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so when I started the book, I was like, I didn't really know what to expect. I was a bit hesitant. I was thinking, oh, it might be too cutesy, too cliche, too girly even. So I didn't know how you guys were gonna take it. But I was reading the first half of it and I liked the first half of it. I really liked the concept of it, how magic was like being gate kept by the rich and powerful or whatever. I like the characters. Keela was fun. I kind of completely overlooked the fact that she was blue. I might have
it.
missed
Yeah,
it.
and then like they would mention, I think she has like horns or something. I'm like, what the heck? I didn't get
And
that
pink
either.
hair.
So I had to go back and like reread those sentences in the first chapter, and I was like, "Oh, she's blue, like that girl in Strange the Dream." And I was like, "That's interesting."
Same because I was just picturing a regular girl. I did not go back and
Mhm.
read, so just right till the end, I still didn't really know what she looked like. I was just going
Yeah.
with it.
So I liked her being a librarian and an introvert, totally like held up to her character. Like she did not like suddenly change over time. I like Kaz. He was one of my favorite characters. The sentient snake plant. I had to Google what a snake plant was because I was like, how does this work? I thought that was like really funny. Uh, I like the
Spider
island
plant.
that. Yeah, it was all cozy. It definitely gave all cozy, warm, cuddly, warm vibes. I was happy about that. What else did I like? The characters were fun. It was definitely a good palate cleanser after Rin's story because it wasn't too serious. It was just fun and cozy. Then we got to the second half of it, and my feelings of the book, the positive feelings kind of dwindled. I don't know what happened. Once I got to the second half of it, I was like, huh, did a different person write the book? Because there was such a huge disconnect. I felt like the storyline wasn't really lining up. It felt weird. The characters suddenly got woke, I would say.
Oh, that's true
Unnecessarily
too.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like it wasn't necessary at all. Like they're plants. You don't need to make plants have he, they, them, gender, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. It felt weird. The second half, if I had to rate it separately, I would give the second half a two. The first half I actually
Damn.
enjoyed. So I don't know. That's where I'm at. I'm like confused. Like what happened? It was going so good. Like I really enjoyed it. It was like Legends and Lattes. Do you guys remember that book that we read together
Yeah.
with the coffee shop? It was like that to me. So I was like, cute. And then the second half was like, hmm. So yeah, okay.
Okay. Julie, you want to go or shall I go? Was that enough of a
No, I
refresher
could
for you?
go.
Okay.
No. I personally love the book. It was a great palate cleanser. Oh my god. It was a 10 out of 10 no notes for me. I did think that they them thing was a little bit weird for the cactus, but I just overlooked it. I was just like, okay, fine, whatever. I'll give it to you. It is a cactus. I don't know if a cactus is a male or a female. In my head, she was a female, so she's gonna be a female. I don't give a shit if it's they. Um, I think that was like the only really instance of wokeness that I kind of noticed. But I really liked the cactus too. Like Meep was cute as hell. Like she was cute as fuck. Um, I liked the characters. I think Kaylee, Kale,
Candy?
Kaylee,
Keely? Keely?
Keely, the main
Blue
character?
whatever.
girl.
Oh, Atlas showed
Yeah.
up.
Hi,
Oh, hi, Atlas. For honorary member. Um, I thought that was like a good representation of an introvert. Like, yeah, like that bitch was weird as hell sometimes. She's like,
Mm-hmm.
no, I don't want to fuck with you. I don't want you to come near me. You're crossing my boundaries. I don't want to talk to people. Because I feel like some people are like, oh, I'm an introvert. And they're not like an introvert. Like, no, they're
Yeah.
just an introvert.
Hmm.
Like, she was an
Yeah.
introvert. So I appreciate that about her. I thought they were like the romance was really cute. I don't know. It was just like a cozy little read. Like it was just fun. It was sweet. I didn't take it serious. I really enjoyed it. I thought the characters were fun. Like this was like a found family, and I appreciate motherfucker. I appreciated that about her. The whole jam thing. Chaz obviously was the star of the fucking show. He was fucking hilarious. I loved his character. I love a good side character like that. I
Mm-hmm.
love it. Like I love books with characters like that. We've had like a couple other books where we have like funny characters like that. Not this fucking ugly ass white bitch with chunky highlights and a Dodge fucking Ram riding my ass.
Ah. I thought that
Move.
when she
No.
started yelling, I thought she was talking about someone from the Kwong book.
No, I'm talking about this fucking hoe next to me. Ew. Probably is a fucking Starbucks. Anyways. So yeah, other than that, I thought it was I kind of enjoyed the second half where like the crazy brave Lockhart little redheaded bitch came in. I was like, oh, interesting. A little bit of drama. I was hoping for a love triangle, but it was just cozy enough where like that didn't happen. I didn't like her. I was like, why would you? And Khalil was really nice for forgiving her for the cookbook because I would have never forgave her for that shit. I actually would have fucking given her to the fucking Pleaseable. Like, no, absolutely not. Like the characters, like the goat boy and the mare horse and all of that. I just liked that like whimsical fantasy. I would describe it as. I thought that was just like really cute. It was just like a really cute, non-serious book. Like I really have no complaints. I like the way they described the island. I loved like the whole like them figuring out the spells and getting it wrong and then having like these random ass experiments. I thought that was just like so fun and cute. The spirit bears, the unicorn. It was just fun. It was just fun. It was like a fun whimsy. Like I just felt like a little whimsical girl reading a book. It was just like a warm cup of coffee on a fall day. This kind of book. Like I have nothing bad to say.
Okay. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Let's see. First thing that I have to say, I hope you guys didn't experience this, but I'm curious if you did, but I hope it was just me. But when I first started this book, and even later on too, like these like intrusive thoughts were coming in, but especially when I first started this book, I was like hyper aware that this author has way less experience than Kwong does. And like it just felt less well written, and that made me feel so gross because I hated those books. But they were still just very very like well written. And this book right from the beginning, it was like it was doing a whole lot of like explaining instead of showing, right? And it like followed like a very very like linear narrative arc like we learned in like literature class. Do you know what I mean? Like where you like introduce and then ooh, here's the first conflict, here's the second conflict, and here's the resolution. You know what I'm saying? Like it did all of those things. And like now that I'm thinking back, like those stupid ass Poppy books didn't do any of that. I never once had those thoughts of like, oh, that's a classic. That's a classic thing you see in a novel. You know what I mean? Like I like never, and I remember thinking that about Babel, but this especially because I was in that stupid chick's brain for like 60 hours. I like couldn't get that in my head, and I was like, geez. And it's just a shame because it didn't like ruin this book for me, but like it was just a weird thought because I couldn't get rid of it. I couldn't unsee it, and I really didn't want to because I just disliked those books, but they were well written. This book, I'm mostly on Manel's side. I liked the first half. Actually, I don't even know if it was half because we didn't break. It might have been like the first like
No.
3/4 that I liked. It might have been the first quarter that I liked. I don't really know. It was probably when that chick showed up, whenever that was, the other woman. For me, it kind of like turned down. It did kind of feel like it was like written by like a different person, maybe. And yeah, I didn't like it like as much. So like I would also rate the first half a good amount higher than I would have rated the second half. I overall still like enjoyed the book though, just because the right up until the end, the most enjoyable things like Cass and
Mm-hmm.
and the little like relationships and stuff like stayed good. It's not like Cass turned into a jackass while the book got worse for me and Manel or whatever. Like he was still really really great, and
Yeah.
the island
Yeah.
was still really really cool. So there was
Yeah.
lots to still enjoy. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I liked it less towards the back half. As far as the love story goes, in my mind, this was like a Lifetime / Hallmark tier love story.
Yeah.
For
Mm-hmm.
me, that means it's
Yeah.
like a 2.5 out of 10. But I think to your average person, take that back to your average female, it's probably more like a 7 or an 8. But to me, when it works out so classically like the Lifetime movies, I'm like, oh, that's dumb. But you know, I'm not the target market, especially for something like this, so I don't like really drop it too much for that. They had their cute moments here and there. Uh, Only other thing that I had was, um, oh yeah, so like I didn't like once what's her name showed up, and that was all happening. I guess like I just really like this author for like the cute and cozy vibes, but when it comes to like
Mhm.
Yeah.
when like worse stuff is happening, you know, like when
Mhm.
conflict comes up, I didn't like it as much. So like I didn't like it when she showed up and then all of a sudden they became like best friends with her. Like that felt like too jarring
Yeah.
to me and too fast. And then when the commander showed up too, and like that was happening, I was like I just couldn't buy it. Like I didn't
Mhm.
like in my mind it should have stayed within the realm of like Lifetime or Hallmark. And in a Lifetime and Hallmark movie, I don't think you have like a battle armada come in and like a captain sweeping through. You know what I mean? Like the conflict is like lower tier, and this one like it felt like it like reached too much. And it's interesting because like Legends and Lattes went harder than this. Like this when that action rose up, it was even more than this, but it worked
Mhm.
because they established in the first half that like she was a capable warrior and all of her like backstory. So like it like worked out. With this one, when the conflict started happening and all of a sudden they're all becoming like minor spies, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I didn't buy it as much. So that was like the main reason that I didn't like the second half. I think it's because the action, it wasn't even real action, but you know what I mean? Like all the conflict stuff didn't hit as much. Uh, I also thought that the last chapter, where they like really graphically described like the mermaid baby birth, I didn't even know why we were talking about that so
That
long.
was
Like
weird.
they really
That
we really
was
like went hard on it, and I'm
weird.
like, what in the hell? Like, what in the hell? Why in the hell are we talking about this right
Yeah.
now? But okay, um, didn't like ruin it. I was just like this. It's just far too much text on the page for a mermaid baby birth. I think that's all I got. I don't know. I think I'm probably going to give this a 3 and then write 2.5 because I'm between the
Oh my
two, and
god.
I'm gonna nudge it towards 3 because I don't think it dropped all the way to 2 because of the second half, because I did enjoy the first half a good amount. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Um, I don't think I thought of it
Oh no.
as you guys did, because to what you said, it is like a Hallmark movie in my head. So I know it's not going to be perfect. I know it's not going to be great. I know it's not going to be the best fucking writing in the entire world. I know it's not going to be a fucking Academy Award winner. I'm not like reading Oppenheimer. So I guess in my brain, or like my
yeah.
reading
No,
personality, I just give it more
and
grace.
that's the
I'm like,
thing. I was there too because I agree, but to me the mistake is they went into the realms that were beyond Hallmark. And then and to me, as soon as you start doing that, I'm not grading at Hallmark anymore. You have to like stay in that lane because I don't know, like none of that stuff would ever happen in a Hallmark movie. And thank goodness, I
that
watch
does
Hallmark
happen in a
movies a lot
Hallmark
with my
movie,
mom.
though. That does happen in a Hallmark movie. Like, that's a small town girl who got just divorced, who went to her hometown, who there's a
Bro,
hot man, and all of a sudden there is some side woman that comes, and there's some
yeah.
misunderstanding, but they make it up, and everybody loves each other. Like, it is a Hallmark movie.
No, I
Like, maybe to
know.
you guys it wasn't,
I'm
but
telling you,
it was.
I watch a good amount of Hallmark movies with my mom. They don't go this hard when it comes to the conflict, in my opinion. The conflict is
Fair.
it just doesn't. You don't have almost drownings. You don't have stashing away of goods in a cliff. You don't have spy work. You don't. I don't know. None of that stuff generally happens, and I think it's fine because it remains a Hallmark movie, and they're enjoyable in their own way. If it stayed in its lane, I probably would have like given this more like a 4 because I was quite enjoying it in the first half. Um,
Fair.
yeah.
I, for one, will be giving it a 4. Ah, 3.5.
3.5.
So what's your real score and what do you write in? I don't think you do that, but
5.
wait, what?
5.
So you're gonna
In
give
my
it a 5, but
brain,
in your head it's a three
it's
and
a
a half.
5 star. But I don't want it to be that one person that looks like an illiterate,
Oh,
stupid fuck.
oh,
So I'm gonna
oh.
give it. I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
Because we're such a world-renowned book club, and they're gonna like all
You
of
know,
our millions of fans are gonna see me and
People are
Manel
looking up
gave
to
this
us,
low.
Julia.
Julia's the
Michelin
dunce.
stars
She
sit
gave
and
it the
they're not like
5.
Sandy. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta keep it. I'm like Anthony Bourdain. I love a good burger, but on the outside, I gotta like fucking make it hard for people.
That would honestly be badass
Anyways.
if like people knew us enough to be like stalking our Goodreads and comparing our notes. That would be cool. I don't think we're that cool yet, but that would be kind of dope.
We don't know though. I mean, we have what, 11
we don't
views?
You,
more than
hey, 11. Next stop is 1 million. Speaking of which, bye YouTube. We love you.
Bye.